How you doing? We're having another giveaway. If you joined us the last time, you'll know how this giveaway works. We give you one um mystery word, and then you DM us on social media our mystery word. With that being said, this time we're giving away 10 free digital streaming codes to the movie Nobody. Mm. And you have to the 24th to DM us the mystery word, and we'll say it at some point throughout the episode. So be listening. With that being said, I'm gonna read the synopsis basically. Sometimes the man you don't notice is the most dangerous of all. Emmy Award winner Bob Odenkirk stars in the Hutch Mantle, an underestimated and overlooked dad and husband taking life indignities on the chin and never pushing back. A nobody. When two thieves break into his suburban home one night, Hutch declines to defend himself or his family, hoping to prevent serious violence. His teenage son Blake is disappointed, and his wife Becca seems to be pulling further and further away. So remember to listen to the episode. We're gonna give you the mystery word, and then you DM us on social media. And back to our episode. Hello and welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast, Not Another Sports Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon. I'm here with my co-hosts, Kevin and Jordan.
Yo, what's up? This is Kevin.
Yes, sir, and this is Jordan.
Yes, sir. And we are back for another episode. With that being said, check out my shirt. Shout out to Miss Carissa, Every Girl Shines. Yes, with that being said.
And shout out to my HBCU, TSU, Tennessee State University. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you got nothing you want to shout out before we kick off here?
Nah, I ain't been to my barber yet.
I feel you. With that being,
next week.
With that being said, we're gonna start off like we do every week with something positive. My positive thought this week is a quote: "Don't allow how people treat you to dictate how you treat others." So, man, with that being said, basically, just learn how to love through everything, no matter what. Just treat people with respect. That's basically it. Yeah. With that being said, what y'all got positive this week?
For me, I guess what's positive for me this week is that I see a lot of maturity in myself this week. It's a lot of things that's going on that people may not know, but I feel like things are heating up, and I just feel like the devil doing things to kind of alter you off your path. But this week I have shown good maturity and didn't let any negative things influence my mood or get me into any trouble.
Amen.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what it's all about.
My boy Roy hit another home run. He's up to 18.
Okay.
Still on that NABP
Oh yeah.
pace. We got to win games.
No
It's
cap.
upsetting that we were up 3-1 in the game in the top of the 10th and did not win that game. But we're not too far back from the Mets, so we still got the division. It's possible. So I feel like if he can keep it going and we can get Waskar and Noah back soon, we should be good. I think we should be getting Soroka back, not anytime soon, but he should be getting reevaluated within the next week or so.
Yeah.
So that's good news. I guess that's the positive I got.
Yeah, man. It's always good to hear.
And shout out to Zion in action.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes. If you didn't catch that, that's our mystery word, action. So yes, remember to DM us on all our social media platforms. So, with that being said, we're gonna start the weekly recap. We're gonna start with the second round of the playoffs. We're gonna first kick it off with the 76ers and the Hawks. I mean, if you listen to last week's episode, none of us expected Joel Embiid to play. I don't think the knee injury was as serious as they was making it out to be. Because if it was really a torn meniscus, he wouldn't be able to do. He wouldn't be able to laterally cut. That was the big thing we were all saying last week. So.
Cause Kevin, what's his name for the Hawks? Kevin Hunter.
Kevin Herter.
Kevin Hurt? No, not Herter. Hunter.
DeAndre
Hunter. Yeah.
He got the same injury, and I think he's done for the season.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and B's a monster if he really do have one.
Right. I think Hunter injury a little bit more serious because he got to have the surgery. Yeah. I mean, I have heard when they say if you play through a meniscus tear, you can't necessarily make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that said in multiple playoff runs before, but I still think the Hawks got a chance in this series. They just gotta make shots. One, Um, Trey Young, he's cutting down on his number of 3-point attempts, but he's getting his points, but they not really efficient. You know what I'm saying? He having to work for him. So I feel like if they can, well, one, Clint Capella got to stop missing dunks at the rim too. When you get those opportunities, you can't clank it off the backboard. But yeah, like I've always said, the key to win the series is making shots. Well, how y'all feel about this first series?
I was really picking the Hawks because I thought DeAndre Hunter would be there to make a difference. Ben Simmons hasn't been Ben Simmons for real, but I feel like he would have done a good job on Tobias Harris. So him being gone has been a big difference, not only on defense, but he does score a lot of points on offense. I don't think Trey Young can do it by himself. Bogdanovich and Kevin Herter have been hitting some timely shots, but that's still not enough. John Collins is a decent second option, but he's not like a great second option. So I don't really trust him at this point to make it more than 5 games. I could see 6 maybe, but I see like 5 being the limit. If they do, it would have to be winning game 4.
Yeah, game 4 is a must win. But I think Lou Will got to play better in the second half. He played pretty good in the first half, but they were so far behind. Like in the second half, he came out and was just missing shots. So when Trey Young is not on the court, they got to have another scoring option.
Yeah, I mean, but we saw this last year with Lou Will in the playoffs. He's not that guy anymore. So I mean, I don't know what we all expected.
I'm not necessarily. I don't even think they expected him to be that guy. When he's in there with the second unit, he has to be better than what he was. He played pretty decent in the first half, but
I know, but that's my point. Like he wasn't that
The
guy.
first
last
half, you only made 2 shots.
I mean,
he wasn't that guy last year. That was his same role last year in the playoff.
missed shots.
That's what he did
That's what he
against. He wasn't really that good against the Mavericks, and he was basically unplayable against the Nuggets.
Yeah. Hey man, I think they also gotta. I don't think. Well, this series exposed that they also need a big man because there's a lot of one possession, one shot possessions they have too. Like they'll go up, jack up a okay shot, and then Philly out and running because they got numbers.
I think Philly just figured them out. Game 1 is always a 50-50, 50-50 game. Is anybody's game. It's a fill-out game. But I think I have Philly in 6 due to the fact that they're bigger, stronger, they're better on the defensive end, and they have more star power. Trey Young is an up-and-coming star, but Joel Embiid is top 4 in the league, and Ben Simmons is not far behind, even without a jump shot. And he's, like Jordan said, haven't even been playing like Ben Simmons. Last night he played like Ben Simmons of the usual all-star that we seen attacking the basket and stuff. If he do that more consistently, I see a lot of teams struggling to beat them because you can't beat Ben Simmons going to the hole and you can't stop Joel Embiid at all. And for the most part, everybody been contributing. Even Dwight Howard had 12 points last night, and Curry had 30 in game 2. Trey Young went 1 for 7 in game 2, and game 3 he shot better, but he only took 6 threes and made 3 of them. I think they just figured him out. I told Jordan before the series that Ben Simmons can lock Trey Young up. He said he didn't see that happening. Ben Simmons have been locking Trey Young up. Ben Simmons is the best defender in the league. I told you before.
I didn't say I didn't see that happening. Will said that. I said that I didn't see them putting Ben Simmons on Trey Young, which they didn't in the first half.
And they needed to from the jump. And when they did that, the series changed instantly. So I don't think it's going to lighten up. Ben Simmons is just physically dominating Trey Young. Even though Trey Young is still getting him in foul trouble, is doing his justice because everybody else is still making shots. So Philly in 6, like I said.
I mean, I don't think it's going to necessarily make a difference in this series, but if Philly is to move on, Ben Ben Simmons got to start making free throws too.
And also, Thibault and Milton has also been coming in playing defense on Trae Young and playing defense on the supporting cast and actually doing well, locking Kevin Herter and John Collins. John Collins had a good game last night, but for the most part, Philly been locking them up.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna move on to the next series, Brooklyn and Milwaukee. I feel like Game 3 showed that this series is over, bro. How often are Kevin Durant and Kyrie gonna shoot that bad? Like, the score was 30-9 at the end of the first quarter. I looked up; it was 32-26 with like 6 minutes left in the second quarter. I'm like, bro, yeah. If they continue, if that's y'all best shot in a must-win game, then yeah, it's over with. So that's my take on it. I think Brooklyn in 5.
Giannis went 1 for 9 from 3, I believe. 1 for 8. 1 for 8 from 3. Wow. And they still won the game. I think they have a recipe to beat Brooklyn if they go out there and execute it. I just don't see Milwaukee going out there and actually executing it for the next 5 games of the series. 4 out of the next 5 games. I don't see that because Giannis can't shoot and Drew Holiday is not scoring. He's playing great defense and he did come up clutch the other night for Milwaukee with a key basket, but he's not giving much on the offensive end. And Chris Middleton is Chris Middleton. He's going to go out there and get 22 points, 20 points, but it's not really impactful. It's like Andrew Wiggins numbers.
I don't know. They needed every bit of Chris Middleton 27 in Game 3.
Yeah, but Giannis scored 40, I believe. Yeah. So it's like a lot of his buckets came in the first half because once they start, I don't know what it was. They just stopped running and started letting Giannis run the point. Like that's what happened on that possession when Blake got the hell ball when he this man here. But when Giannis backed up and tried to run at him like they was doing Oklahoma drill. But yeah, if they continue to try to let Giannis, if they don't, it's cool when they're in transition to let him control the ball. When y'all actually have y'all point guard, I mean, when y'all actually running half court offense, why don't you get a ball to your point guard? But see, he has to do that because Drew Holiday is not scoring. Like I said, like it gets when the supporting cast is not doing anything around, it goes right back to Giannis ball dominating the ball, doing the little linebacker drill to the goal, and Chris Middleton doing little middleweight fadeaways. Like they're a 2-point team, they're restricted. That's why it looks like they're getting points, and it's high scoring because they can get to the basket. But Kyrie, KD, and everybody else just come down and shoot threes, and they can't stop that. And I don't see why not, because I picked Milwaukee to win this series due to the fact that they're a top 4 team offensively, and there was a top team defensively. But it just seems like in the playoffs, it just don't come together. And this was the perfect opportunity to catch the Brooklyn Nets because they don't have James Harden, and it's just KD and Kyrie. But they stole game 3. Let's see if they can get another one. If they get another one, then they can probably, who knows, upset. But if they lose the next game, it's over with.
You said that they had the recipe to beat them. What would that be?
Defense, perimeter shooting, and supposedly a superstar, Giannis. They have not played the great defense that they played in the regular season. They haven't made shots. Game 3 counts, but it was still a close game on their worst night. So that's not that's not giving too much to me to believe that they can beat Brooklyn now. Now, I do believe Philly can beat them if they do that. And they have a higher chance to do that anyway. Because if Milwaukee beat Brooklyn, I would have picked Philly anyway.
Yeah, Philly, gotta be a better matchup. They can shoot better.
Joel Embiid is actually the person that Giannis should be.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with Brendan. I feel like this series is over. I said 7, and I don't think it's going 7. I could see 6 at the best, but it's looking 5-ish. Yeah, I was pretty much right about Drew Holiday. He's decent on defense. I won't say great, but he's playing. He's doing a good job. He's holding his own. He's not locking down anybody. I feel like a lot of them are just missed shots, but they're not scoring. So that's the objective of you playing defense. So you gotta give him that. But like Kevin said, he's not doing anything on offense. Chris Middleton is Chris Middleton. I've been trying to tell y'all this for like 3-4 years. He's not it. He was a all-star by the same reason why Kyle Korver was all-star. If you're on the best team, somebody's got to go with him. I feel like what was I gonna say? Oh, I mean, yeah, he did hit some big shots at the end of Game 3. It wasn't like he was just scoring off his 15 points in the first quarter, because he did have 15 in the first quarter. He did hit 2 big shots at the end, but then he did airball once KD was on him. So now there's that. And then one more, everybody was talking about who's gonna take the last shot, and we all found out it was Bruce Brown.
And then got cooked on defense too.
That's crazy. I sent the text in the group chat, and I was like, "Why is Bruce Brown doing Kyrie work?" And they didn't understand it.
Hey man, he was hooping.
He was, but I don't think you should be the one taking that shot in that situation.
He was like, I can't remember.
The clock was running down. They had that. The pass was thrown away.
I think
so the whole setup was thrown off.
I think it was Jalen Rose that said it. It was like when Carlton had the ball against when Will was supposed to take the last shot. It was like that.
I don't know. I mean, luckily it was against the Bucks and not someone like Philly, Utah, or Phoenix that it can actually do damage to.
Right. I mean, it was Joe Harris was wide open for a mid range. It was like 18 feet, but he ain't been missing. So even if he does pass it, you can't just say, "Oh, he would have made it," because he was missing.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna move out west. We got both of these 2 Western Conference series are either 2-0 or 3-0. I think they ain't gonna say it's gonna go. They ain't gonna say Utah and the Clippers gonna go 3-0, but it's kind of looking that way, man.
Nah.
D Mitch been eating, bro.
I think Kawhi can get one.
I know you can get one.
I feel more confident in the Clippers winning a game than I do the Nuggets winning a game.
I agree. But I don't think it's. I mean, of course, I don't think it's gonna be a sweep. I think they're gonna get one in LA, but is it gonna be the first one or the second one? That's my thing.
Yeah,
I think when it goes back.
I mean, if they go down 3-0, then no, I don't think they'll win. I think if they go down 3-0, it'll be sweet. But I think with the pressure, especially since it's not like they got to go on the road and win. So yeah, I feel like they can get Game 3. Now, if they can win Game 4, that's a different conversation. But I think they can go ahead and get Game 3 because I mean, look at how Milwaukee was losing. Nobody thought they would win Game 3. So, I mean, I feel like it's pretty much the same thing. Plus,
and I usually give that team, the home team, an advantage in Game 3 because that's the first game back. Like, 9 times out of 10, they usually come out with some enthusiasm.
Right.
Not last night, not the Nuggets or the Hawks, but, you know.
Right. Plus, what was that? Last round when they lost 2 to the Mavericks, everybody said that they were done. So, I'm not saying that they will go out there and win it, but I would bet that they would win. I'm not willing to unless somebody wants to, but I'm not gonna go out to Vegas and bet.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't jumping off the porch.
Right. I feel like they're capable, but it depends on which Paul George you get. If Reggie Jackson can keep hitting threes, then I feel like that would help. Marcus Morris got to hit his threes again. They got to give Rondo more minutes. I don't understand why they traded for Rondo and played him 0 minutes.
Because he's not that Rondo that everybody kept boosting up.
He's better than Pat Bev.
These are facts. Pat Bev be tricking y'all, man. Shout out to Russ.
I think they both give you the exact same thing, though.
No. Patrick Beverly gives you nothing on the offense and barely anything on defense. Rondo at least plays pretty decent defense and actually helps on offense.
I say he could, yeah, I was about to say he can orchestrate the offense. He's not gonna give you much.
I mean, it's not you're not expecting him to go out there and score 15, but he'll give you a good 7 to 10.
Sometimes he's inconsistent now. It's not over.
Hey, man, he did it for us last year when we needed him.
Yeah, but that's last year. This is a new year.
I mean, I understand that. I understand all that. I'm just
now
saying.
you understand that that's last year and this is this year. Team
just
gets
saying.
sent home and now it's
Hey man, I think this Phoenix series, I'm willing to say it's over.
yeah.
Yeah.
Spooky
Jokic got
time.
his MVP. And they're like, bro, what we gotta play for?
Nah, I just think it really showed that they were missing Jamal Murray.
Yeah. And I mean, Devin Booker been cooking, so we've been saying that all season. And I guess are we willing to say Chris Paul is healthy again? He's healthy enough to get done what he needs to get done. How about that? He can shoot threes again.
I never said he was unhealthy.
He broke his shoulder that one game.
He ain't break his
Right.
shoulder.
And LeBron messed up his shoulder and saw 3 rims.
He did.
It was looking spooky for him, and they bounced back. So his
Okay.
shoulder hurt. His shoulder not
Ain't
hurt.
that
no
what
more.
Luka did? Said his shoulder was hurting.
Hey, man.
I think that's what they all do.
Amen.
He said his neck was hurting. His neck. He had a neck
Yeah.
strain.
Everybody got something in the playoffs. that's my point. When they winning, they 100%. But nah, I think
Except Jokic.
yeah,
He take his L like a champ.
no cap. I say that I definitely was going back and forth. I remember asking in the chat. I don't know who I was picking this series. I had faith in Phoenix, but I didn't expect them to be up 3-0. I thought Denver would show some fight. I'm not back to the injury thing. I'm not willing to say that Michael Porter Jr. is hurt. I just think he's missing shots.
Yeah.
like
Man.
I don't know, bro. And Aaron Gordon isn't helping at all on offense.
Scored 4 points in game 2.
Yeah, that's not it. That's not gonna cut it. But yeah, I feel like I said last week, this could be the time when they realize that Jamal Murray, that they missed Jamal Murray. I thought they was gonna be able to put up the fight one more round, but I guess not. I do like Phoenix though. If I had to pick right now, I would probably say Phoenix in the final because they look good.
I don't know that.
I can't go that far.
I feel like Phoenix and Utah
That's gonna be a series.
Yeah,
That's gonna
mhm.
be a series.
Best one of the playoffs.
Right.
Probably.
Yes, sir.
I feel like I don't know.
I don't know
like,
that Brooklyn and Philly series might be. We'll get to it.
I feel like that. I feel like Philly. I mean, not Philly. Phoenix has too much scoring off the bench. Like,
right.
I feel like Gobert can neutralize Ayton, but I don't know if Donovan Mitchell's gonna have enough with him to outscore Campaign.
But they got the 6th man of the year.
Crowder.
Jordan Clarkson going out there getting 24 a night.
He might.
They got Ingles coming off the bench.
You're not wrong.
Bogdanovich.
No, Ingles. That's if Mike Conley.
No,
come
Ingles
back
actually
and beat-
Ingles in the starting lineup. I think.
Right. That's
Until
if Mike
Conley.
Conley come back and beat
This
Mike
team-
Conley. I don't know.
This team
It's gonna be
nasty.
a series. I'm not saying I'm going out.
Race O'Neal.
I would. If you had to ask me right now, I would pick Phoenix.
I mean,
But
can't
then
say
again,
you
I
wrong.
said that when AD first got hurt. When I said when I said that I'm not picking the Lakers anymore, and Penny asked me who would I pick, I said I would pick Phoenix. I've been liking them for a while. I just had to see how DeAndre Ayton look, how Crowder actually plays, if Devin Booker would step up, all that. And I like what I see from them so far.
They are performing well. I give them that. And Chris Paul has made a great impact on that team, but they are kind of benefiting with the Lakers being unhealthy.
I don't wanna hear
Jokic
that.
not
I
having
wasn't
Jamal
gonna say
Murray.
nothing.
You know that's gonna come. I'm just gonna be real because that's gonna come because they did that with the Warriors and stuff. They're gonna look at it and they're gonna be like, yes, this is a young team. They perform well and stuff.
I mean, I get
but
all
then
that.
they're gonna look at the Lakers was unhealthy,
But
Nuggets
they
was unhealthy.
They were winning
then now, if
before
they-
the Lakers got unhealthy.
I'm just saying they can criticize any championship because last year our championship don't count because it was in the bubble.
It was.
That's what they do. I'm just saying, like, here we gotta let it be known because we gonna hear it and then we gonna, you know,
Hey, man,
before
all
we
I'm
hit,
saying
before we
is-
hear it, we call it out.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I just feel like I'm looking at it. I saw what I saw. They won game 1 pretty decisively, even though the final score won't say it. AD went off in game 2 and game 3, but it was not like they just ran away with the game. AD and LeBron hit some clutch buckets at the end, so it's not like they were just completely outmatched.
Yeah.
And then in game 4, before Anthony Davis got hurt, they were up by like 15, 20, something like that. So
I'm just saying, haters gonna hate, so you just gotta call it out.
yeah, I feel it.
But for this series, Jokic out there by himself, man. Game 2, he had 24, and only 2 players had over 11 points, and that was Michael Porter Jr. and Paul Millsap. And then Paul Millsap turned around and gave you like a donut in Game 3.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, CP3's going out there in Game 3 giving you 27, 6, and 8. Booker 28, 6, and 4. And Crowder had 14, Ayton had 10, and Bridges had 10. Jokic can't go out there and do it on his own. But like I said, it's not his fault. And then Jordan told me earlier, he was like, a little bit. But then when you go and check the stats, it's kind of his fault a little bit. He did shoot 1 for 6 from 3 the other night.
Yeah, he was passive in the first 2 games.
Yeah, and Ayton,
especially when Ayton was on the bench. He got in foul trouble game 2, and he did not take advantage of that. And I told you that was going to be the difference in the series, but he didn't do it.
I do believe he's the MVP of the league, but I believe all of this, he might be getting burnt out. He just gassed.
Hey man, I told you.
He took him to a high.
I told you he was gonna win the MVP, but he's not the MVP.
Nah, I think it's Steph for Joel and Embiid. But
I would say Joel Embiid.
Hey man, this was a perfect attendance award. It's at least 6 people.
But y'all did make the case for him because y'all did say.
I told you when we had the conversation what was gonna happen. I told you at the time I would not pick him for MVP. At no point in time did I say he was good enough to be MVP. All I'm saying is he did what he had to do. He played every game. That's commendable. But you shouldn't be MVP just because you play every game.
But from like last week discussion when Will was here, and he said he succeeded because he got into the 3rd place seed and they was in 4th.
I mean, so yes, I told you that was gonna happen the same day you said that they was gonna fall to 6.
Okay, so that's
cool. That's cool. But look at their schedule though. Like you always say, who was they playing? They wasn't really playing nobody. Plus, it's not like they didn't have Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. to win some regular season games. Let's be real. It's not like he was out there by himself. So.
I give him credit. I definitely put him in the top 3 for MVP, but definitely not as the winner.
If we doing it injury free, I would have him probably 6 or 7, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I'm saying that, because I'm not doing the hypothetical. I'm just doing how the season was. Of course, if everybody was healthy, he wouldn't be the MVP because everybody would have played majority of the season and showed they was better than Jokic.
I'm going off best player. Like, I know what our definition of MVP is. We did that in the segment last episode. But I'm saying I would, if we're talking about best players, I wouldn't put him in my MVP race. Like
not even top 10?
I would have to think about it, but off the top of my head, I would go like players, Kawhi, KD, LeBron, Harden, Chris Paul, Steph. That's like 5 right there. Russ, players like Russ, Luka,
D. Mitch.
Dame. I guess I could give you Dame. He did have that little stretch at the beginning of the season. He kind of cooled off at the end, but he definitely got them back. So yeah, I would go Dame. Like players.
You even say Joel Embiid?
Oh yeah.
I mean, say Joel Embiid.
Yeah, I mean, but look at his team though.
What?
Look at the help that he got. I'm talking about like.
But
because think about it, KD and James Harden both missed significant amount of time, so it's not like they were just leaning on each other the whole season. But Joel Embiid did have Ben Simmons, all these other role players to lean on most of the season. So I mean, yes, I would have him in my top 10 above Jokic.
I mean, they
like,
did start losing when he was hurt though.
You're not wrong.
and then
but
they picked it right back up when he got
he's
back
talking
in.
about skill for skill. Yes, I would have Joel Embiid over Jokic, but yeah, he would be towards like the bottom, like 8 or 9, 9 or 10, something like that. I mean, did you disagree with any of the other people ahead of him?
Nah, you're right.
Hmm. Any more thoughts on the playoffs before we move on?
Mm, hopefully the conference finals is more entertaining because it's kind of been looking poo.
Yeah, it's been a watch the first game of the night, then go to sleep.
Yeah, like it's not even interesting.
That being said, before we wrap up the weekly recap, of course we have to talk about the Women's College World Series. I want to give a shout out to Odyssey Alexander. She was the pitcher for JMU. She was the first pitcher to lead an unranked team to the Women's College World Series. And she black. Black queen doing black queen stuff. Goat-ish. Yes, ma'am. Anyway, with that being said, my Crimson Tide almost got to the finals. We lost to Florida State twice. But shout out to Montana Falcons. She threw the 5th no-hitter in Women College World Series championship. I mean, Women College World Series history. And her idol was in the crowd, Jenny Finch. I remember watching Jenny Finch when I was little. Yeah. But how y'all feel about the Women's College World Series? Any thoughts?
It was cool. I didn't watch a whole game of it. I caught bits and pieces of them. Most of them were on while I was at work. But I did catch the end of the Georgia Oklahoma State game. I think it was the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Justin Fields' sister hit a double to tie it, or I can't remember exactly what happened. But I was listening to the end of it, and then I saw when Alabama played UCLA. No,
Yeah,
it wasn't UCLA.
Arizona.
No, it was Florida State, the second game that they lost.
Ah.
When they had the rally going, and then the girl tried to go from second to third and got the third out.
Yep.
What is the number one rule
You
when
don't get the first or the third out at third base.
I just don't get it. Like, this is a rally killer. You had the heart of your lineup coming up. You just took the bat out of the hand. You never know what can happen with 2 outs, and you don't get the first or third out at third base. But yeah, I feel like it was pretty cool. Like Brennan said, Odyssey Alexander was out there doing her thing. Only thing I didn't like I said during the MLB playoffs, is that they played back to back to back to back, and it's a little bit harder in softball because it's only one pitcher. It's not like a pitching staff. So
You usually have 2, but I get what you're saying.
you have one main pitcher.
Right.
You have like a starter and a closer or something like that.
Right.
They might flip, but it's basically you're pitching every game.
Right.
Yeah, it was cool. It was the first time when 2 teams lost. The first two teams lost in the first round, and they both made it to the national championship. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But other than that, I didn't really watch it. Like I said, I was at work, so I didn't really. It conflicted with my schedule.
I'm dead. I mean, I watched a couple of games. I didn't really dive into this season, but I seen that Oklahoma won the championship. Shout out to them.
Yeah, it's their 5th, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're doing their thing. I was just watching some of the games just for sport, just for the love of the game. I caught the young lady I think that you're talking about.
Odyssey Alexander.
Play for the purple and white team, right?
James Madison.
James Madison. That team sound familiar. Did they do something in the NCAA tournament before?
More than likely.
They did, and they also when they were D1 AA, they upset Virginia Tech.
Facts.
Yeah, they were like number 7.
Look at my boy.
And they won the national championship last year.
Look at my boy with the knowledge.
Hey man.
But yeah,
sports podcast.
I was able to catch couple of her games during the tournament, and it was just nice to see. It was fun to watch. I didn't know all the history and background to it. I watched games with the sound off, so.
Dang, Shannon.
Man, I said I don't want nobody to think I got my thoughts from them. I thought these thoughts up myself.
Yes, I just strictly just watched the game. All you hear is music and my son talking in the back.
Ah, that being said, we're gonna move on to our Genius or BS segment. Shout out to Coach K. Coach K is retiring after this season, and he was able to pick his replacement. So that's the Genius or BS. Um, Question: do you think it's genius that they went out and hired a search firm just for them to say that Coach K is going to be able to pick his successor? I think it's genius that Coach K picked his successor. He's been there long enough. He got all these accolades. He won all these national championships, won all these gold medals. Of course, he get to pick his successor. Isn't that how it works? But how y'all feel? How y'all feel about this?
It's genius. I don't see a problem with it. Why wouldn't you want him to pick? Like, wouldn't you want the organization to keep going in his direction?
Exactly.
That seems like a no-brainer. I would hope whenever Nick Saban retires, shout out to his new contract extension, by the way. But I hope whenever he retires that he picks whoever is supposed to come in. Like, I would trust his judgment over anybody else's.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's genius. Brad Stevens came in and had them on the right track. He might not be the coach, but he probably could be a good GM.
No, we're talking about Duke.
Duke. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
man.
Coach K.
I'm sorry.
That's the next one.
That's yeah.
Good tease though.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I heard you talking about stepping down and give him. Okay.
John Jair is the new head coach for Duke.
Yeah, I
when
was
Coach K
saying
retired.
whenever Nick Saban retires, I hope he picks who's the next coach. Like Duke is picking their next coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're saying is it genius for
Him to pick
his,
the next coach.
Yes.
Yeah, why not? It's like the same thing. Like I guess both of these topics go hand in hand. It's if you've been leading a program and you done had it for some time now, they respect your mind and brilliance, and you leaving a legacy and impact. Why wouldn't you be able to have a word or a say in who you want to continue the legacy after you are continue to build on what you established? So I think it is genius.
Yeah, I'm just glad he gets his farewell tour. Not many people get to plan that out.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to go out on his own terms. I might, depending on what the ticket's looking like, I might go ahead to.
Cameron
They
and-
still play at McCamish.
Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to head to McCamish and see what they're talking about. I'm not paying too much.
It ain't. It's usually not that bad for Georgia Tech ticket.
But
Even-
it's his
you-
last year now.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That is a good point.
ticket's gonna be.
You can always work there. Hey man, that's how I saw him the first time.
I don't know if I'm willing to do all that. Just for one game.
Hey man,
Then I won't be able to see it either.
You
Yeah.
will,
I mean,
cause y'all don't do it, bro. The only time you work is at halftime.
Anyway, 250 too. Get a little 250,
yeah,
maybe more.
you're not wrong. It depends.
With that being said, we're gonna, since Kevin alluded to it, Danny Ainge is stepping down as the GM for the Celtics, and Brad Stevens is moving into that role. I think it's a good concept. I've seen it work, like in I'll say in New England, for instance. Bill Belichick, the buck stopped with him as far as personnel decisions. He gets to pick what players he wants, who, what position they play, and all that. He is the head coach, the general manager, all that shit. So it's a good concept, but I've also seen it in Houston where Bill O'Brien had that same amount of power, and you saw how that went. So, I mean, it's a good, like I keep saying, it's a good concept, and I like, I kind of like the direction that Brad Stevens has the Celtics moving. So I think it's it's genius. How about y'all?
It's genius because Danny Ainge is leaving. I can't say if it's BS or not because I don't know what Brad Stevens will look like as a GM. But it's good news. Knowing
He's a
that,
good coach.
yeah, he wasn't the worst.
I think it's genius. from interviews with Jason Tatum, listening to them and stuff like that, they respect Brad Stevens and stuff like that. Brad Stevens don't look like the type of person who's gonna get up in your face and yell and do the motivation type things that a coach would do.
Oh, yeah.
I think he just knows the game, then has a feel of how to construct a team and the X's and O's. So I think a GM role would better construct them, especially a guy coming from Butler before he came to Boston. And Butler, in a college game, you're able to control things and piece things together how you want it, and actually show your skills as a mastermind of construction, I guess. And he did that at Butler, made them a championship team, a championship contender for most years, orchestrating, putting together a team, showing that he can recruit and coach. So I think he's gonna do the same with Boston. You coming into a situation where you have some picks. You have Jason Tatum. You have Jaylen Brown. You can trade Kemba Walker. Like there's a lot of things he can do with the team. You could trade Marcus Smart. So I think he's coming in the right position. I think he's gonna. I can't say Boston's gonna win a championship because you just don't know with them anymore. But I think he's not gonna be something that's bad for them.
Oh yeah. I mean, they got a lot of talent. It's just one, injuries, and then inconsistency. So I mean, I feel like they're gonna be they headed in the right direction.
Yeah,
So.
I just feel like Danny Ainge was a little overrated when he was there. Like he did put that team together, even though, but it was more so the players kind of finally getting Kevin Garnett to want to go there.
Yeah.
As if he didn't want to go there, and then
History would be different.
right, we would look at Danny Ainge a lot different. But I mean, he did get that good haul, but he didn't really do anything with it. All he got was, I'm not gonna say all he got, but all if you would have said back then all he got was Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, people would have looked at you different.
Right.
It wouldn't have looked as appealing as the haul that he got. And I will give him this: he did trade with Philly, and he still got Jason Tatum when he could have just taken him at one. But he did get a little bit of extra picks, but it's not like he was hitting on those extra picks. So.
I think Kyrie Irving really messed up the trajectory of this team.
But that's it.
I think that was Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie Irving, them doing wrong by Isaiah Thomas, and Isaiah Thomas doing the most on himself to help them.
But that's,
messed it up.
That's
Kyrie
their fault,
coming,
though.
messed it up.
They remember when Kyrie gave out the list of teams he would re-sign for.
Yeah.
Boston wasn't on that list, so why would you even trade for him?
I mean, because he came there capping. You know,
But
saying he
that
you
was
know,
after. I mean, of course he gonna say the politically correct thing. He's there now. Like, why would he go out there right after he just got traded there and say, yeah, I don't want to be here.
Nah, I think some people ignore the question. I don't want to talk about that. We're not going. This man went to the fans and said, "I would like to come back here if you would let me." Now
He didn't say I'll be here. He said if you let me. They didn't let him.
They didn't let
By
him.
that time, they didn't want him no more.
I
Yeah,
guess.
fact.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is we can't just blame Kyrie for leaving because he did say before they even traded for him. That's like if the Jaguars would have traded for Russ after he left to put out the 4 teams he wanted to play for. Like, for what? I didn't say I wanted to play here. Like, you knew where I wanted to be. So you just wasted your own trade assets.
I guess you could play. Yeah, it's their fault. But they did trade for him. Can't even fight that one.
We're gonna move on to our goldfish memory segment. The first topic is Simone Biles and her 7th U.S. National Championship. Shout out to her. She has motivated a lot of young black girls to get into gymnastics. With that being said, the entire women's gymnastic team is all black. Shout out to that. Let's go.
Oh yeah, no, that wasn't.
Hey man.
Fact
We
check.
haven't. That's not. They haven't announced the team yet. They announced it on the 24th.
So
the
what was
27th.
So what was the picture of? So what was?
They
that
might have
was
been
the-
qualifiers.
Yes.
So
That
what was
might-
the headline?
I don't know. I sent you the what's it called.
I
I
got you
just got
guys.
there.
Give me a second.
But
Yeah, anyway, shout out back to Simone Biles. Hey man, she's a goat. we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. How they don't be trying to give her points for
I
doing
got
more
you,
difficult.
Brandon.
Go ahead.
I got you. All right. All right. This is not the Olympic team. They will only have 4 girls, and they haven't determined who yet because the Olympic trials are until the end of this month. We will more than likely have 2 black girls, Simone Biles and Jordan Childs. Childs.
Yes, shout out to
And the information is from?
Melba.
There you
Tulsa.
Shout out to Melba.
But the Olympic trials is on the 24th through the 27th in St. Louis.
So they've already had the national championship.
The U.S. all around trials. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm
And
caught
all
up
of-
now.
All of the girls in that picture qualified for the Olympic trials.
Okay, all right.
You know how social media works. They just see a
Exactly.
picture.
This is why you have to
Hold
fact
on.
check your things, bro.
Yes. Shout out to Tulsa.
No
Our
cap.
resident gymnastics
Expert.
Yes, sir.
See, man, we gotta get her on.
Before we get
Her
our
and-
hopes up,
her
we gotta know
and-
the facts.
Her and Baby Goat.
But
Both
yes,
of them.
we can have up to 3. I feel like, what is her name?
Jordan Child.
No. Sorry. Jade Carey. She's basically locked in her spot. So
Basically,
we could have up to 3. Jordan Childs would be the second. Simone is basically locked in. Jade Carey is locked in, but she is not black. So we could have up to 3 black women in the U.S. Olympics.
Yes, sir.
hey, man.
Which
We
And
still
we're gonna
can
get
a
it
clap for that. hey, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
y'all are funny.
Hey, man.
This is why we don't edit.
At all. At all.
Get the real us.
This every time. That being said, our next topic is the 12. They're proposing 12-team playoff in the college football playoff. I think once again it's a good concept. The first round teams, the first 4 teams, isn't it?
Yes.
First 4 teams will have a first round bye, and anywhere from 4 to 10 bowl games will get cut out. So I feel like, again, good concept, but this is where the talent difference is gonna make a difference. You still gonna, I feel like, every so often you're gonna have a upset, but for the most part, the talent difference is gonna make it. The talent gap is gonna be too widespread. Granted, I do think with all the how transferring is going, it's just gonna be free agency. So ain't no telling now. You can have a top 10 recruiting class at UCF. Who knows? But yeah, how y'all feel about this whole 12-team playoff idea?
I can't wait to the day that sports do things for the love of the game, what makes the game more interesting, what makes things more fun, rather than a money grab. Expanding it to 12 teams is just strictly a money grab because we all know that is a big difference once you get from the top 8 teams to the lower half of the 25. And you might have one of those really good teams in the bottom 15 or lower 20s that work their way up by the end of the season. So we already know this. So expanding this to 12 is just something we just want to, it's just dragging out games just for people to spend their money on this. And I don't like that. This should be stretched out to 8. It's always those, we have a 4-team playoff right now, and there's always the 6, 7, 8 spot around those realms where we have those teams where we look at and be like, oh, they got finessed, or they wasn't given the right opportunity, or they didn't have a conference championship game but they undefeated or something like that. I think it definitely should be 8. We will get the best quality football games, and we will see who's the best team. I feel stretching it to 12 is just pointless. We're gonna see a whole bunch of blowouts. We're gonna see a whole bunch of just Alabama beating Coastal Carolinas type things. Like, that's not what
Well,
we
they
want.
wouldn't make it to the second round.
Yeah, well, we'll see Coastal Carolina versus like what Oklahoma State type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Carolina would have played Notre Dame last year.
Nobody
I'm
want to
just
see
saying,
that.
Notre
Like,
Dame can't get in the playoffs unless they get in the conference, bro.
No, they can get in. They just can't be a top 4
They
seed.
can't.
now Notre Dame will fail. They
They would have been the 5th seed last year.
Notre Dame should not be in the playoffs until they get in a conference. It's always the same thing.
I mean,
mean,
Big
but
12
it's
don't
the
have a
same-
conference championship.
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it is.
Down
Now,
it's the same-
Oh, they did do
It's the
Oklahoma
same
State
thing.
one. Oklahoma one.
It's the same thing as it would have been 2 years ago when they
I
made
understand
the
that.
playoffs.
All I'm saying is every time Notre Dame gets in the playoffs, they always get blown out. Get in a conference.
But that's favoritism, though. Like, that's the same thing with
I
Oklahoma.
don't have to do anything with a conference.
Same
I
thing.
feel like
with-
they should have to play in the conference like everybody else. None of the other independent schools are anywhere like this, so we don't have to have this argument with.
I mean,
any
they
other
did-
School, but
They did run in the ACC and still
They-
made the conference.
Yeah, I'm
championship,
saying
so-
that. Yeah, that's
I mean,
one
still
year.
made the
Yeah.
conference playoffs.
I mean, I feel like last year was one of their better years, but they still should have to play in the conference every year, like everybody else.
Yeah.
They'll lose their NBC stuff if they do that. I believe if they
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, it's money grab.
everything.
They still had the NBC contract last year.
Yeah, but I think that's because of
Oh yeah,
academic
because the
reasons.
ACC do
Yeah.
got a ACC network now.
Everything was off. Teams wasn't playing nobody but the Big Ten and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they had to join the ACC.
Yeah, I don't really see a point in 12. Like Kevin said, I was thinking like 6 or 8 and give like the first 2 teams a bye week and then go to 6, or if you don't want a bye week, just go to 8. I feel like 12 is too much. Nobody wants to see Coastal Carolina, Iowa State in the playoffs. Like, they're cool during the regular season, but nobody really cares. It wouldn't even, like, everybody's talking about how it would even the playing field and make it easier for everybody to compete, but it really wouldn't. Like, it would be the same teams in there still. Like, Alabama would have been a top 2 seed every year except 2016 when they would have been a 5th seed and they would have been playing UCF. We would have beat the mess out of UCF and then play Ohio State. Nobody would. Like, it wouldn't have even been a close game.
All it's doing is subjecting people to get hurt.
Right. And then, like, we would have been in the playoffs every year except 2019 when LSU won it. But if you sitting here, like, not even as an Alabama fan, if you sitting here just listening thinking that Utah or Memphis would have got in over Alabama, like, just for ticket sales, nah, you tripping.
Cincinnati,
Exactly.
team like those.
Yeah, like, they're not getting in over Alabama. So that right there to let you know, like, it's not, nothing is even changing. But good news is it would have finally got Florida in. They would have been in 3 years. They would have been in 2018, 2019, 2020.
Because we're consistently a top 10 team. But we're
I
going.
heard 3 years. I didn't hear consistently.
Hey,
I heard 3 years.
Hey, man.
Hey, man.
Florida on the up and up. Let me not even boost myself up right
Yeah,
now.
because you know what
You
this
do
is.
this
I know
every
the-
year. Every season. Every offseason.
We
you
had
get
a
hyped for no
pre-show
reason.
meeting, and we talked about what y'all record would be. Let's not do that.
We signed Dan Mullen. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Mullen's best record was 8-4. I heard that from a Georgia fan. Hey man,
I could have seen them winning.
what's the number 8 from Florida last year? What's his name?
Grimes.
He got cut by the Eagles, I think.
Sheesh.
He tore his knee up though, so it's not like it was. Georgia fans was on Twitter talking trash about how their second round, their number, two of these people are in this picture are still in the NFL, and the other one is whatever Grimes.
One thing I will say though, I could have seen Florida make a run towards the national championship last year if they did have the playoffs.
Maybe
They would have played Iowa State at home, then they would have played Clemson. I think
Yeah.
I'm not saying they would have beat Clemson, but they could have beat Clemson. I don't think Clemson was as good last year as everybody thought they were.
clearly.
I think we would have lost.
Yeah, and then y'all would have played Ohio State.
Yeah.
Y'all could have put up points with Clemson.
I don't know though, because
y'all had a better defense.
Justin Fields wouldn't have had the rib injuries, so it's not like y'all would have. Let's see, who would they have played? Ohio State would have played Texas A&M or Indiana. I don't know. I'm not saying Texas A&M would have beat Ohio State, but it
And
would have been
Indiana
a good
almost
game.
beat them on the road.
Texas A&M
Right.
poo.
Yeah.
Y'all
So
lost to them.
By
then we probably would have got another
Field
Florida.
goal.
We might have got another Florida Texas A&M rematch. Who knows? We might get some interesting games. All I'm saying is the winners, whoever's gonna win, is gonna be the same. So if y'all are interested in these first and second round matchups, cool. Congratulations.
I just need
I
to
just know that Alabama at the end of the day is still gonna win.
I just need
These
these
are facts.
college sports to do things for the love of the game and logic. And when you do things like that,
Amen.
money's gonna come in when you do things the right way. To be quite honest with you, when you do things the right way, the money's gonna come in. People are gonna appreciate the true matchups of the best teams in college football rather than sitting in there having to be forced to watch a 2 versus 11 matchup or something like that. It's unnecessary. It's too much. Like, it's not giving nobody in these small schools hope. They're going to get, like Brendan said, a little upset every now and then, get bounced in the next round. None of these teams under the top 8 will ever win a championship. I think the lowest a team will be a 8 seed.
Y'all were 9.
Huh?
Y'all were 9.
I didn't think when you said that matchups, I didn't think we was going to beat Clemson in the second round. If that was the case,
Oh no, I'm sorry. Y'all were 7. Y'all would have been 7.
yay!
But
So,
I feel like y'all could have beat Clemson.
Yeah,
I'm
y'all had
not.
a
I'm
better
not giving
defense
you.
than they did,
I'm
I
not
think.
saying that it would have been a win in the books because y'all lost to LSU.
Yeah, I did lose that.
because you wanted
You know,
those shoes and
sometimes
stuff.
when I'm having a bad day, I go watch that highlights of that game. Just
Boy,
like
this man threw a shoe.
that, bro.
That's
We was the most
I don't know what to bring up.
probably
more.
one of the best
Either-
teams in college football last year. But
What's
the
more
most
hurtful,
undisciplined.
y'all throwing shoes or y'all blocking each other?
Throwing shoes because we had more to lose.
Bars.
But see,
But I mean, I'm not saying that it won't be interesting. I don't have a problem with expanding. I just think that 12 is too much. Plus, it's too many games in the regular season already. Cut it to 10 if you're gonna do that.
man, these boys gonna stop playing,
Nobody-
and they're gonna go say after the SEC championships or something like that, they're gonna be like, I'm done. I'm
Nobody
going to the
ca-
league.
Nobody like you. It's good that they're cutting out some of the bowl games, but nobody cares about the Arkansas game. Nobody
We
cares
still
about.
have to play Arkansas.
I know, I get that, but I'm saying like cut out some of them.
I just
Nobody cares. I don't want to see us play Mercer, the Citadel.
that's
I
it.
agree.
They should
Yeah.
move this to 8 instead of those FCS teams that Florida, Georgia, Alabama have to play. Like Jordan said, switch those matchups out. You got to put Clemson in there. You got to put Ohio
Well,
State
we
in
do.
there.
We do that.
Logic.
Nobody else does that.
No, y'all don't.
You
Yes,
go
we
on
do.
the other
Y'all
days
put
of
Miami.
using logic.
Go-
You got to think that's how those FCS school programs.
Go
Get
look at
money.
our
Yeah, I know that's
go
how
look
they,
at
they
our
get
home
That's how they
$1
build
million.
them. That's how they build their
dog,
school up.
2023. Look at our schedule in 2023.
Yeah, playing.
I got
Probably
I got you.
Texas. I'm playing Texas in the game opener. That's what y'all playing.
Then we just who was that I was talking about that Alabama that was Will when they just got Keelan Robinson. So yes, Texas not gonna be trash.
And they got Sark as their head coach. You know where he came from.
Then they gonna go out there and win 45-3 every.
But it don't
opener.
matter. It's a home and home. What's y'all schedule?
We
Who
did
y'all
on,
play? Some poop?
Hey,
Yeah,
man,
got real quiet.
I ain't say we ain't playing poop.
You didn't
Y'all
say
play
y'all
poop.
wasn't playing poop.
I wasn't
How
talking
we-
about Florida.
How? Yeah, but you were talking about us. What do you mean? You don't just get to talk about our schedule and expect me not to come back.
Because it was in the midst of the conversation.
What?
What this topic?
Anyway, any more thoughts on the 12-game playoffs?
Hey man, we got Texas and USF in 2023. I can't remember what year it was that we played some 5 teams, but we got some 5 teams on our schedule.
Okay.
And
I know y'all ain't got no 5 teams.
They
Y'all-
5 now and then predict the team to be 5,
Who
6
y'all
years
play?
from now.
that's
Who
what
y'all
I'm saying. Our schedule is made
Who
ahead
do
of
y'all
time.
play? Y'all don't play nobody.
You can't predict the future. You can't predict this team gonna be good 6 years from now
We
because
can
they
predict.
good right
we can
now.
predict that the Citadel gonna be trash every year, and y'all play them every year.
You're not talking about Florida.
Well, stop talking about us. What do
Y'all
you
the
mean?
ones winning all the championships and stuff, right? So I'm
So why y'all don't play no 5 teams?
We gotta build these FCS programs up now.
Everybody gets
I am
They
real. I
highlights.
am realistic about my team.
everybody
Yeah, I
gets
do.
everybody gets their highlights off of what's it called? Off of Alabama. They strength of schedule come from playing Alabama. How we supposed to get our strength of schedule? Everybody poop. Stop it. Who do you want us to play? The Cleveland Browns? You want us to play the Dolphins every week? Come on, bro. Be realistic. Name some teams we should play. You want us to play Clemson, Ohio State, USC every week, huh?
No, put them at the
Nah,
top.
we supposed to have the Harlem Globetrotters schedule, huh?
No, just put
That's
them.
what you want. You just go around just barnstorming, huh?
In his mind, we got the Harlem Globetrotters.
Whoever the number one team is that week, that's who we supposed to play. Huh?
What are we supposed to play each other then? Because we always
we just
team.
scrimmage. Well, y'all don't play nobody. Just clone yourselves and play every week. Like, what do you want us to do?
Hey man. With that being said, we're gonna move on over to baseball. I'm not sure if y'all saw the Garrett Cole press conference, but that was one of the funniest press conference. Basically, he asked him, "Do he be cheating?" And Garrett Cole said, what had happened? What had happened was, so basically, he told on himself. There's been a significant uptick and then fall off of Trevor Bauer and Garrett Cole's spin rate. That's how they baseball is a very analytic game, so that's one of those things that they measure now. How I think Trevor Bauer's was up like an extra 600. I think that's what it was. 600 RPMs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crazy.
From we're in 2021, so 2019 to 2020. Yeah. In the shortened season, it was up 600%. I mean, 600 RPM. That's what you should know. When he was with the Reds.
Right. When he threw the no-hitter. I mean, shutout, and he still lost.
Yes.
What the key is to get, they're using foreign substances, so something called spider tack and pine tar, or rosin and sunscreen mixture. It makes it really sticky, and it gives you a better grip, and it allows you to hold on to the ball a little bit longer right before you release it, and it's harder to read the seams as a batter. So,
why is that a big deal?
Because they're saying it gives the picture a little bit more of an edge, because it's harder to read like off-speed pitches.
To answer your question, because we've had 6 no-hitters in the first 6 weeks of the season.
And they want home runs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I don't see... I mean, I can understand why people... If it's an under-the-table type thing, why is it an issue? But I don't see why pitchers can't have that ability. It's a way of a game, you know what I'm saying? Like, what... Is it really cheating? It's not steroids.
I wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, they have
hitters
analysts
still hitting,
equating it to steroids, but I don't think it's.
I wouldn't have a problem with it if we didn't have everything else already slanted towards pitchers.
Right.
That being the shift and all this other stuff that we have.
Right.
So if they want to take it, if they wanted to put the balance back in the hitter's favor, then yes, control the pitchers all you want. It's at the end of the day, it's only 600 spin rate. I'm not saying just go out there and do it all out. Like, but I'm saying, like, if you're doing it respectfully, then have at it. But that's added on to the fact that we have all this other stuff going on with the fact that there are all these no hitters, and that it's the lowest batting average ever, and it's the like I said, the shifts and the way that batters approaches are. Like,
is it that impactful though? Like, you think that little spider attack on the ball and stuff like that is that impactful? Maybe is it the pitchers just being better and these hitters not being as dominant? They're not on the roids anymore, huh? They not shooting up in their arms anymore. Is that what it is?
Any more when was the last time you heard of a no hitter?
I mean, all I'm saying, I think it goes hand in hand with both. You right, bro. You right. But I'm just saying it goes hand in hand with both. The drop off is also these people not on roids.
There was a night where we had back-to-back no hitters, and there was one that went into the 8th inning. There would have been 3 no hitters in 2 nights. We haven't seen a no hitter in 2 weeks. That's how long they've been doing the investigations for what's called. I'm not saying that they're connected. All I'm saying is it's kind of coincidental.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying like
Nah,
I
they
think
connected.
I think it's a
All
Huh?
I'm saying is
They connected.
yeah.
Garrett Cole was lighting the league on fire. He has this.
He's struggling now.
He has this meeting, and he goes out and gives 5 runs in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, man. Maybe Charlie Morton need to use that, man.
Okay.
Baseball will forever be a game of cheating, bro.
I mean, you're not wrong.
They just-
It's just
everybody gonna find a way to cheat in that game.
cheating respectfully.
Right.
If-
That was the thing
if
with the
I know-
Astros. Like,
If I know
some-
you're cheating, you're doing it wrong.
right. That was the thing with the Astros. Everybody
What?
still signs.
I get what you said, but it's like, dang, that's just how. That's the only game I know that gets away with that type of stuff, though. And then it blows up from one
Yeah.
side.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to say. Like, you can have plausible deniability with Trevor Bauer, but it's hard for me to say that Garrett Cole isn't doing it. It's
He
not
told
like,
on himself.
right, yes. Even without that interview, though, like, I remember when he was with the Pirates, he wasn't that good.
Mhm.
Then he went to the Astros, and his spin rate goes up all the, like,
Substantially.
yeah. And then it's not like Justin Verlander was still lighting it up with the Tigers before they traded for him, and then he comes back and bounces back and has this resurgent career. So it's not like it's out of the realm of possibility that he's doing it.
I don't know. Justin Verlander, remember a couple years ago he was saying they was juicing the baseballs. So,
Yeah, I mean, how else to get somebody else off your back but to throw it on somebody else?
All these folks be cheating, man. So I just say, me personally, let them do it. I mean, if you can regulate the stickiness and watch them throughout, at certain moments and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? It's not cool to have it. Yeah, I just feel like you can't sit there. Baseball gonna forever be a game of finding hitters, pitchers, infielders, outfielders cheating in some type of way, whether it's juicing, medicine, trying pine tar. Hell, I'm pretty sure they can find a way to cheat with the grass out there. So it's like, at this point, I think if you can't beat them, join them, but regulate it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If it gets out of hand, then that's the problem. But do it respectfully. But back to your point, when you said, why would Justin Verlander say that they were juicing if he was cheating? The same reason why Trevor Bauer would call out Garrett Cole when he's cheating. So, I mean, if
He
you
doing
wanna
it too.
exactly. If what they say, you point the finger and 3 to point it back at you.
The Spider-Man meme.
Okay. That's exactly what they were doing.
And our last topic for goldfish memory, LeBron James decided to go back to number 6. I said it was because he was out of the playoffs and wasn't nobody gonna be talking about him for a while. So now everybody got to get his jersey. Devin Booker is the last person to have the number 23 game worn jersey. Random fact, but yeah, how y'all feel about LeBron changing his number back to 6? Y'all Miami fans, y'all remember the 6 Bron?
We ain't getting that LeBron.
He was the number
I'm
6.
glad Kevin said
I
it.
say Miami LeBron was dunking over people, on people, jumping up, blocking people. That was probably the best basketball player I ever seen in my life in Miami.
Yeah,
Like, that's-
I remember looking for the jersey. I couldn't find it, so I settled for a T-shirt.
No
But,
cap, I did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, like Kevin said, we're not getting that LeBron back. As long as we all know that, then
That's
we're
it.
good.
He probably did that for the reason you said, Brandon. You know, LeBron is a drama queen. He like the attention. You know, get people riled up. You know what I'm saying? You know, something new. I'm not in the playoffs this year, so let's see what else I could do. You know, change my number back to 6. Everybody has been seeing all these memes and gifs and videos of LeBron transforming his number and him dunking and being like Miami LeBron. I'm like, bro, y'all do know this is going to be year 19 and he's finna be 38, 30. Yeah, right?
39.
He finna be 30. Yeah, finna be 39. This is not 27-year-old LeBron. LeBron is
Wait,
gonna.
no.
He finna be
He's
38.
36.
Yeah, he finna be
so
30.
He's about to be 37.
So,
I'm 36.
like, LeBron is not finna give you that. LeBron is gonna give you the consistent 24, 8 and 8, and he's gonna make impactful plays. But that 6, that most dominant player you ever seen in your life type player, we're not getting that. I think when LeBron retired, we're gonna look back at him being number 6, whether it's in the Olympics or with Miami, and be like, damn man, this man was like dominant. Like I like looking back at people peaks. That's when you can really tell like who they were as a person. Like I don't even even like with Derrick Rose. I look at Derrick Rose right now and be like, that's not Derrick Rose. That early years Chicago is Derrick Rose.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking when I said I'm 36, that video, that was when James Harden got traded there, and everybody was saying they was putting that team together to stop a 36-year-old LeBron James, and then that 36-year-old LeBron James lost in the first round
to another 36-year-old point guard.
Hey, man, that is crazy. I remember the last time they said that when they put the Warriors together, and then LeBron didn't make the playoffs.
I mean, but also at that time they was 4th in the West, and he went down.
Hey, man. He came back. They were 7th in the West, and then they went 8-13 and lost to the Hawks and the Kings.
They were booty.
Hey, but they were 4th in the West though.
At that point, before he got hurt,
came back and went 8-13.
They did.
All I'm saying is, I agree with Brendan. What Brendan said, this was to get his name back out there. I think it was also to sell Space Jam, like he did in his post game interview. But I mean, it's cool. I don't have a problem with him changing his number. I don't really care. Like it's just a number.
Right.
Y'all hyped for the movie?
I'm gonna go see it.
Yeah.
I'm lit. I will see it. I think it's gonna be fire.
I'm gonna go see it. I'm not excited. I mean, if I feel like my niece is gonna enjoy it. I don't think she really cares about LeBron James, but she likes
Looney Tunes.
She likes Space Jam. So I feel like she'll enjoy it. But I'm gonna watch it just to go watch it. I don't think it'll be bad or anything. I don't think it'll be better either though. I like the concept of what they were going for. I saw the little 30 for 30 thing that they did. That was cool. They got the WNBA in it. So
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh yeah. No, before we get out of here, we always close with the pick the ending topic. This week's topic comes from Ron. Who would you rather take, Jason Tatum or Donovan Mitchell? I'm gonna have to go with D Mitch, mainly because he got his team as the 1 seed in the West, and it's still the consensus is the West is the tougher conference. But yeah, in all actuality, they're kind of the same player, but I would just have to say I don't know because Donovan Mitchell got a better team around him, so you can't necessarily say that. So I feel like if we were picking, it would be 1 and 1A, but I'm gonna say D Mitch because where he got his team at. How about y'all?
I'm gonna say D Mitch. D Mitch has something about him. I call him Dwayne Wade 2.0. He reminds me a lot of Wade, and he has that like kind of like Mamba mentality. Like when it's the pressure and the lights get bright, he ready for it. He gonna tell you, get the F up out of here. Y'all not on my level and stuff like that, and consistently go out there and dominate. Jason Tatum is like that as well, but Jason Tatum is still growing. I think Jason Tatum has a higher ceiling than Donovan Mitchell. Not needless to say, I think Donovan Mitchell could be the best player on the best team and win a championship. But that's still saying highly of Jason Tatum that I think he has a higher ceiling of him. He's been on a couple of good teams, got to some Eastern Conference Finals, but I don't think Jason Tatum is right there with D Mitch with wanting to take it over, take the series over, take the game over, be like, I'm going to be the best player, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be the dog. You know what I'm saying? Jason Tatum is a great player, but Donovan Mitchell is the best player on the best team in the NBA. And every time he's been in the playoffs, he has been dominating. Jason Tatum scored 50, you know what I'm saying? But he has been dominating and consistently getting better.
Yeah. When he first asked this, I said Tatum with no hesitation. Then I thought about it. I was like, Donovan Mitchell really been putting in buckets since his rookie year. He did. Like I say this all the time. I didn't really watch that Utah OKC series. I remember them talking about it on Undisputed. I want to say that was their first year having Undisputed. But when Paul George was out there giving you 5 and a possible, somebody was out there having to give Russ buckets too, because Russ did go out there and give him 44. So Donovan Mitchell definitely stepped up in that game. He was good really the whole year. And then, Like the only real bad series he had was against it was against Houston. I want to say 2 years ago. He shot like 31% in the playoffs. But yeah, I'm saying all of this to say I would stick with my first instinct, and I'll go with Jason Tatum mostly because he plays a little bit better defense. And like Brennan said, Donovan Mitchell does have a little bit better team. Jason does have Jaylen Brown that can go out and get a bucket whenever he wants. I'm not saying that Utah can't, but I have more confidence in Jaylen Brown than anybody else on Utah's team.
But see, that's another reason why I say D Mitch is.
But
I was about to say Jaylen Brown. It's an argument that he's better than Jason Tatum.
I mean, well, yeah, that's
an argument.
We've had that argument several times.
There's no question.
But
D Mitch is that guy on Utah.
Yeah, but if we're saying just Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum versus all of Utah, then I would say Utah has the better supporting cast because they do have the defense in Rudy Gobert, and he's not like just giving you zero. He is giving you at least a double-double.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would like I said before we even started, they have basically the same playoff averages. Like they both average like 49% from the field, like 36% from the three. I would also say Tatum because he did take LeBron to Game 7 when he was a rookie. They didn't have Kyrie, so nobody was really expecting them to do much. But the only thing I would push back on is last year in the bubble they did have a prime opportunity to go to the finals and he couldn't get it done. He got the big block shot by Bam. That was kind of the turning point in that series.
That was over with at that point.
Yeah. So I feel like that was one on the silver platter where he should have at least got them to the finals. But other than that, I really, like I said, like you can take either one of them and not be disappointed with either one. But like you said, I feel like Tatum's ceiling is a little bit higher. You can build a little bit better around them, and I do feel like both of them could be the best player on the championship team. But like you said, it's arguable if Jaylen Brown is better than Jason Tatum. Right now, I would say no, but I would say it's possible. Like within the next 2 years, yeah, he will be.
Yeah, because he's only 24, 25, I believe. He's only 2 years older than Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I feel like Jaylen Brown has more room to grow. I feel like Jason Tatum is kind of getting close to what he's gonna be.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Appreciate you, Ron, for that question. Shout out to Action again, the mystery word.
Yes, sir. Well, that concludes another episode of your favorite podcast, not another sports podcast. Remember, I'm one of your hosts, Brandon. Make sure you follow me on all those social media sites that Rob was there.
And this is Kevin. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Vice City Kevo. And stream how I'm coming.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. And this is Jordan. You can follow me on Twitter at @this_guy11. You can follow the sports pages on Facebook and Instagram at Not Another Sports Podcast, and on Twitter at N_A_S_podcast. Make sure whenever you listen to us on your audio platforms to subscribe, because we do try to do a good job of putting them on Instagram to let you know when there's a new episode.
Yes, sir.
But we do forget sometimes. So make sure you subscribe. That way you can get notified whenever we have a new episode.
Yep.
Thanks for your support. Yep. You can even rate us on there. We would definitely appreciate it.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
No cap. Give us 5 stars.
And make sure.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We greatly appreciate all the support and love. Make sure y'all wash your hands. And keep your head up, guys. Whatever you're going through, no matter what it is, keep your head up. Strive for greatness. And understand whatever you're going through now, it gets better.
No kidding.
And with that, go Gators.
Roll Tide.
Yes, sir.
What's wrong with this guy?